Okay, in the previous video we were looking at patterns inside of poetry, stanzas, lines, and also counting the number of syllables per line to see if we could see if there was a pattern. In this video then, when we analyze poetry, we need to be looking for things for figurative language, in particular similes and metaphors. Both similes and metaphors are comparisons of two unlike things. The difference is that similes use words like or as, whereas metaphors don't. The other thing that we're going to be looking for is hyperbole, which is a classic overstatement or an exaggeration. And last but not least, personification, which is basically giving human characteristics to non-human ideas and things. So I'm going to start with the beginning of the poem. I had been hungry all the years, my noon had come to dine. But when I look at this, there's no way that you could literally be hungry all of the years. So in this case, what we see is a hyperbole. There's no way that that's absolutely true 100%. That's an exaggeration. So my noon had come to dine. I trembling drew the table near and touched the curious wine. And I look at this and I'm like, wait a second. Is wine curious? Does wine ask questions and want to learn more stuff? And the fact of the matter, it isn't. So what we've done is two things. We've used a different definition of the word for curious, which I'll get to in a second. But we've kind of done personification here as well. We've given the human characteristic of curiosity to wine. But I also want to point out too, and this will be part of a later tutorial, curious in this case isn't like looking for knowledge, but rather talking about strange or causing curiosity. So, 'twas on this table as I had seen, when turning hungry lone, I looked in the windows for wealth I could not hope to own. I did not know the ample bread, 'twas so unlike the crumb the birds and I had often shared in nature's dining room. So now I look at this, and we have personification because the birds are shared with the human. But we also see right here a simile because we have ample bread versus crumbs. And I know my handwriting isn't so great right now, but long story short, we have comparisons of two unlike things. Then we also have another simile later on in a couple other metaphors. But long story short, when you read poems on the ECA or for any purpose, you should be looking for figurative language, examples of similes and metaphors, and ultimately you need to be able to explain why the author would do such things.